right club. Be the right club today. Yes!
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most!
Expect anything different?
Should have taken Spieth. Nobody wanted to listen to me on this one. I'm just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up live show presented by our friends at High Noon. You guys just cracked yours. I already had mine open because it's well past drinking time. Solly here calling in live from Farmingdale, New York. Hello to the Pie Man as well.
Hello, Solly. Great to be with you guys. What a delightful day of watching some G on the television. I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to chop it up with the boys.
Maybe
I have faith that the
you,
boys are going to bring it tonight. It's going to be a great night.
My big, proud American friend, a recent convert to the American team. Are you ready to bail on him, Big Randy?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm ready to bail. I got
come
some thoughts
on.
there. What did I sign up for? That was gross.
It's bad. It's really hard to root for. It's really uninspiring. I don't know if you guys have heard, but High Noon has new non-carbonated vodka iced tea flavors. The new vodka iced tea Lake Pack introduces two new exciting flavors, green tea and half and half, alongside the classic original tea and peach flavors. The Lake Pack brings together real vodka and crisp iced tea packed for maximum flavor to bring wherever your day takes you. HighNoonSpirits.com to find a pack near you. High Noon, suns up. The Ryder Cup is also, this Ryder Cup show is brought to you by our friends at BMW, a worldwide partner of the 2025 Ryder Cup. They do such a great job. They set us up with great digs, great transportation, everything we need to effectively cover the Ryder Cup, support all of our Ryder Cup content leading up into this as well. They partnered closely with Keegan and Luke Donald to design their own custom Ryder Cup editions of the BMW 7 Series. You can see those out on site. They got a ton of great activations. They do great stuff in golf, so eternal shout out to our friends at BMW for supporting this show and supporting one of our favorite events in golf. Deej, take me on whatever torture path you want to take me on.
Yeah, well, let's just level set. Let's zoom out as we always do. Let's just say what happened. Of course, after day one of the Ryder Cup, Europe leads 5.5 to 2.5. Is that bad for the U.S.? Yes, it is. That's only a point better than it was in Rome. Things are not good. Europe leads. They decimate them in the foursomes 3-1. They go 2.5, 1.5 in the 4-ball. This is Europe's first day one lead on U.S. soil since, do you guys know?
2004, probably.
2004 at Oakland Hills. That's a long time. World number one, Scotty Scheffler, goes 0-2 for the U.S. Americans. John Rahm goes out in both leadoff matches, goes 2-0 for Europe. Tommy Fleetwood goes 2-0. Bright spot for the U.S. Cameron Young looks great in his debut. We're going to talk about all of that. Solly, you were out on the grounds. Where do you want to start, my man? What sticks out to you first?
It's a disastrous day.
A lot of ways we could go.
Truly, a lot of ways we could go with this. It really, honestly, just hit me as I was sitting down here how bad of a day it was for Keegan Bradley. Sending Bryson and JT out first, based essentially solely on vibes, which I was kind of the opinion, like, you might get away with that at home, man. Like, I get it. I get what you're after there. Go for it.
What if they shoot you in the face, though?
What they did shoot him in the face. That worked out horribly. Scotty and Henley, again, a pairing I was expecting and thought made a lot of sense. Did not work out at all. Looked like those. I didn't get to see a lot of that match, but what it sounded like looked like those the first two times. That it felt like the first two times those guys had ever met each other.
I was going to say first time they played golf in America. It was not good. I don't know who those two guys were, but they were not the two guys we were expecting. Which
we can get into some of that as well. The Morikawa English pairing, don't feel like I'm second guessing that one. We called that one out last night as being the worst possible pairing they could have put together. And to be honest, that didn't end up hurting them that bad because it was like the sacrificial lamb pairing. I don't think anybody was beating Rory. They got lucky with that one, of how bad that one ended up working out. And the one thing that did work out for them in the morning, Xander and Cantlay. So, of course, they're down 3-1. Now you go into 4-ball, and we just watch Europe scratch out 2.5 points despite the U.S. putting up better numbers in the afternoon. They played better golf overall in the afternoon, but Europe ham and egged it better, which is not a coincidence. That's not like some random thing that happened. They're very clearly have a better system in place to get the right pairings, get the most out of everyone on their team. They played their bottom 4 players in the afternoon and won the session because of how well Luke Donald and Dodo Molinari worked out the numbers, the pairings, and all of the chemistry and everything. It was really, really impressive. And it's just, I can't do another show here where we say they just made more putts, man. I don't know how or why they were more prepared to play better golf. I don't know how. It's total luck, all these things, that it just continues to happen in one direction.
What do you chalk it up to, Randy? They just managed the bullpen better. What was the deal?
Yeah, I mean, begrudgingly, the process, the capital P process, this was a win for the Europeans today, as Solly said. It just, I don't know. Everything that they're about, I have more confidence that they know what they're doing, that what they're doing matters, that they have a real game plan, that all the guys are aligned with what that game plan is. You watch a day like today, and the difference between the European organization and process and the U.S. organization and process, it just becomes very, very stark. So listen, I think some of it too is like the Americans, like we just need some dudes to show up. And I'm sick of like calling for that too. But it kind of comes down to like, yo, you guys got to play some golf, man. You're supposedly some of the best in the world.
Well, I don't have a lot of insight I can lend to that necessarily, but why don't we talk to the guy who was the winningest U.S. player last time we played the Ryder Cup? My guy, your guy, everybody's guy, Max Homa, joining the show. Maximus, how are you, my man?
Hey, fellas. Happy just to hang out. That was a long day of golf watching for me. I don't think I've done that in like
how was
high school.
How was the viewing experience?
I'm really here just to talk about how much the golf course stunk and the coverage stunk, to be completely honest.
Welcome to the show.
Dude, welcome to the show.
Yeah, dude. I'm a long time listener. I feel like I could add to the echo chamber.
No, what were your big takeaways? You know, I was talking to you kind of throughout the day. I know you were pretty locked in on coverage. First of all, did you get a haircut? You said you were going to make the barber turn on the Ryder Cup when you went to go get a haircut.
Yeah, they had a one of those like dish satellite things, and it's been raining here, and Scottsdale's never happened, so that just cut out. New conspiracy theory alert is it never went out during the commercials. So I'm starting to think big golf has something to do with this. But no, I mean, it was good. It was fun. I woke up at 5 with my newborn Austin, and we just grinded the morning. Missed a bit of it. I had Daddy's Day at school today, and then came back and watched a lot. I don't know. I didn't love the course setup, although the rain just sucks.
Did they do anything about that's what my
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know anything.
So
last year was the last Ryder Cup was the first time I had understood the power of the course setup thing. I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys, but like they had, you guys all know this, but they had said that we're better wedge players, and every short par 4 was like a drivable hole. So it took a lot of wedges out. And then they said that they had an advantage from 180 to 200. And I write my numbers in my on my pin sheet, like for, front edge and then pin number. And man, when you started to realize it, I was like, man, I have 180 to 200, like every hole. It was pretty amazing. So, I was like, wow, this really does play a part. I'm not here to say like the U.S. did anything wrong, but it was kind of fascinating just the morning session, how well they putt. And it just felt like, I don't know. I thought that it was just as a viewer, just a boring golf course. It just didn't really matter. I didn't think anybody was going to make a bogey all day. Granted, they didn't show very many golf shots, so it's hard to say if anybody did. But it's just like, Rom pulled it on 15 maybe. And like Sepp hit it at the bottom of the thing. And granted, Sepp made a sick putt, but it's like, I never thought in my wildest dreams, like Rom wasn't going to get up and down. I mean, it just looks somewhat basic, and you missed the fairway. Unless you missed it on 15, it just seemed like you whacked it up next to the pin. So I don't know. It's interesting, but I always wish like we could talk more to like you guys having Dodo on was cool. I know nothing about the stats stuff as far as court setup goes.
Well, I think on that front, just picking at what you were saying there, and the idea that you don't feel like anybody's going to ever make bogeys, I almost would go a step farther, because I feel like we roll our eyes a lot of the times on like, yeah, they just made more putts. They just made more putts. They just made more putts. And today they did make a lot more putts, especially in that foursome session. But I think where that really matters is when I'm not even saying all the golf course setup is their fault, because they got a ton of rain. The greens were soft, all of that. But when you also cut the rough down, now it's like, okay, well, everybody's kind of in every hole, right? You can drive it way offline, but the rough's down. So everybody's going to get to the green. So then it's like, well, yeah, the flat greens, everybody's hitting the greens. Like, now what matters? Yeah, it's putting. And that's what's crazy to me was in that foursome session, seeing guys speed control, like especially on the American side, was abysmal. Like Russell Henley, who's a great putter, like seemingly having no touch. Patrick Cantlay, who's a great putter, having no touch. Like that stuff didn't really come around until it felt like 14, 15 when those matches were so far over.
And pause on that for a second, Deej. What Max just said about like, oh my gosh, they just had us exactly in that advantage spot. The U.S. is better tee to green numbers wise than Europe. Why are you describing this course as a putting contest?
That's what I'm saying.
You were in charge of this setup. Like at a certain point, it gets cut off, and a neutral committee takes over tees and pins, and you can't decide all those details. But you own the golf course up until like the week before the tournament, and we ended up in a spot where it became a putting contest. That goes back to leadership. I'm sorry, that's a failure. It should not come down to that.
I did think it was sweet, considering it's a public course, how many like short putts were missed, because it feels like a very, like a very, I don't know if these greens are all that, well thought out, and some pins could be in some funny spots. The one Rory like super horseshoed, and then there was another one that broke felt like it was like 3 feet and it broke like 5 inches. So it's kind of fun getting to watch a golf course that is the people's golf course, and I felt like a lot of people actually made it look like that. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. It just the rain thing I think probably stunk, because Russell Henley is just a cheat code and JJ Spawn, and not that JJ played great and Russell didn't have his best day, but like Russell doesn't hit it very far, and you kind of just get worn out. Like I use the blackjack theory with him. It's like if you keep playing him for a million rounds, like the house is gonna get you, because he's just gonna keep hitting fairways and keep hitting greens and keep hitting fairways and keep hitting greens. It felt like he got, because of the rain, it felt like it didn't give him much of an advantage to be in the fairway with the length he was hitting it, versus because he doesn't hit very high. Versus like some people were 25 yards up in the rough, and it just didn't feel, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not dogging the setup. I think the rain stunk, because typically, even with somewhat like basic firm stuff, if you're in the rough, you can't hold, especially how long that course is. You're not sticking. I mean, Tommy was like spun it back on 16. I know it wasn't a long iron, but geez Louise, like I was in the rough. So I think that really hurt some of the guys on our team, or like our advantage, with just how soft it was, and that part sucks, because I mean, I'm with you. If I'm doing it, I thought that they would make it hard or graduate or whatever you want to do. It just like didn't work out. But again, I'm just here to hang out, boys. Here to hang out, listen to the takes, fire in, and mostly just talk about how I don't understand how we see so few golf shots. I just don't. At 5 a.m., it hits way different than like 3 in the afternoon. Sure. 5 a.m., I was like, guys, I set a alarm. Like, I wanted to watch this, and I'm just like getting killed. I don't get it. It's wild to me.
Well, welcome to the resistance, man. Let me say that first and foremost. Brady, what were you gonna say?
I got a few questions I want to ask you, Max. I'm trying to think of which one I want to ask first. Let me ask a personal question. After having played your first Ryder Cup a couple of years ago, what were the just emotions like watching this Ryder Cup? I mean, was it kind of excruciating? What was going through your head, or have you come to kind of peace with, you're obviously not a part of this year's team?
Yeah, I mean, excruciating is probably aggressive, but it sucks. It's motivating, which is nice. I typically, when like something is like self-effacing like this, or something that I feel like I'm missing out on, I try to like steer into it. So just soak it up. Again, I got a lucky day where I was home a lot, so I got to watch a lot. I didn't really plan on like grinding all of it today, but it's hard, but it is motivating to want to go play the next one. And those away ones are, I mean, that's like the coolest thing in the world. Just from the 3 teams I played on, the away ones are pretty awesome. So, but yeah, it sucks, but it's also like whoever missed out the year I made the team, like I would want them, not that it matters, but I want them to like support. And I like really want them to win. Like I didn't like when, I mean, credit to him, but I didn't like when Rory banged on the table last year and said we're doing this at Bethpage 2 years prior. Like, it's just, you get this like pride for the team. It doesn't necessarily matter if you're on it. Like especially the way the captaincy worked with the vice captains. Like I'm really close with all those guys. So you just want the best for them. But it is hard to watch this on your own. I mean, I've come to peace. I wasn't going to be on the team for a while, but you still like sucks, but it's you still want to root on the boys. And it's still like, I don't know. I think it's the best 3 days of TV there is. I mean, it's incredible.
You have a bit of perspective. Obviously, day one in Rome was not great. I mean, what do you think? I'm sorry to
No, it's way worse.
Day one here, not great for Team USA. Like, take us inside. What do you think the team room's going to be like? Is there any panic? Like, what? Give us a sense of what it's going to be like this evening.
Yeah, it's great. The guys are on their team who are veterans, because what I would say is it felt like the world was coming down after the first day last time, and all the veterans were just like, just so you guys know, and they like broke it down and wrote it down, is like, this is how many more points are up for grabs, and we're like not even remotely close to the end of this. So like I find, I mean, I would say the mood in the team room is obviously going to be motivated, but I don't even think like super bummed out would be close to what they're feeling. Because singles one is a massive thing. Tomorrow they could, if you get it within two, it's like almost I'm not going to say it's wash going into singles, but truly anything could happen there. And then so like having that veteran presence like Patrick, Justin, obviously even Keegan coming in, he'll say something about it. All those guys, Scotty, like they have a good bearing on Xander, like how the process goes of like, dude, let's not panic, go play your game. I will say that I found a big win in like if Rory and Shane had won on that last hole, that one hurt last time with Justin Rose, making that putt and pointing to everybody right in our grill. I would like it to be known that was for a half, not a whole point, but that like just stung. So some, like, I know it sounds stupid, but some minor momentum there, like without, I guess, not getting sucked of momentum. So there was enough good, especially, all day, but especially that last bit that I don't think it's killing you. And I don't think anybody's going to panic. But I do always find the second day interesting of like, does the captain run the same thing out, or do you like change it up? I don't know how that all works, but that's what I'm curious to see what happens tomorrow. And if you run it out again, which I always like, just go play better golf. But yeah, it's that's like fascinating part of the final day. But I don't think the guys are freaking out at all. I mean, we're like truly not close. And if we thought we were a million back in Rome, like this should feel like damn near tied. So I think everyone will be all right.
This is a maybe complicated question, and honestly a tough one maybe for you to answer, Max, just considering you obviously knowing all the team guys and the captains and all that stuff. But at what point I just have questions about Scotty being 0-2, Scotty playing poorly in Rome, and I'm not picking on Scotty, just to say like, hey, their top guns from the jump show up and are ready to play and are prepared, and it just seems like we're making a little bit of excuses for them. It became a putting contest because it just always a little something. When in Rome, it was competitive rust. It's some jet lag. Oh, there's some sick. It's just kind of always something.
I think so. I know you didn't get to watch a lot of his round. If you watch Scotty this morning, especially, I don't think you'd be making any excuses for him. That's a different person than we've seen for the last 5 years.
But that's my point. Like I as many of these that I've watched, I kind of. I kind of refuse to believe that there's not something culture related, leadership related about being prepared to play from the jump, because Europe is ready. Like, especially under Luke Donald, they've been very ready from the jump to start. Is that random variance? Is there something to that? Is there something do you look at what Europe does at all? Like their team culture, their camaraderie, the way they do pairings, any of that, and say like, man, we should be borrowing at least some of this to help with this problem that we're having getting off the bus in these last couple of Ryder Cups?
Yeah. I mean, I guess like obviously last one was the only one I've been on, and I'm sure like again from team to team, I'm sure it's super different. Like I've talked to Keegan quite a bit and Kisner and Gary, so like I feel like there was a bit of a difference there, like a bit of maybe plan stealing in a way, or like copycat type stuff. I don't know if they did it, but like they had talked about being more. Just taking from what happened in Rome and like switching it over, like no, everyone's turning over every rock. the Scotty thing's fascinating to me because I don't think I've beaten him like maybe ever, and I'm not kidding. Like I know I didn't beat him this year. I definitely didn't beat him last year. I got close. I think we tied at BMW or something. So it's just like I don't. What I will say is this: with all team events, Ryder Cup and Presidents Cup, they are not meant to help you prepare. You have no time to practice, like at all. You have to beg at times, like for 20 more minutes to go putt. I've had it at each one. My first one, or first team event at the Presidents Cup, I remember I didn't know what to say or do, but like I had not hit practice. Like we would warm up in the morning and then we go play 9 holes, and then it would kind of be like eat, and it's like, okay, cool, we're getting on the bus in 15. And that's how I know that works for Europe too. So I'm not like, it's not like an excuse here, but I remember my first one, I was like kind of frantic because I was like wanted to hit and like do my own thing. And some of the guys had said like, you got to figure out how to do stuff quicker here because like it's not meant to prepare you to play a great golf tournament. And I was lucky, but like I was kind of venting about it, and Scotty stepped up and was like, hey, we're taking another car back. Like, if you guys want to get on the bus, go ahead. But like, we're going to go practice for a little bit. And so, the guys who wanted to go hit or whatever it was did. And same kind of thing happened with putting and Rome. So all that to say is like, Scotty's one of the best. I mean, obviously he's the best golfer I've ever seen. Him and Rom, just like as far as longevity goes, are the best just in my age range. But Scotty is like the best preparer. Like he is really good at that. And I don't know if this has something to do with like, it also could be random. I mean, I know what you're saying, DJ. Like I don't see him pull a pitching wedge ever, but also we have a ridiculously high bar for the guy, like absurdly. So I do think a lot of it's random. I mean, he also seems to get paired against a guy who's playing great, or, one of, their top 2 guys going into it. I'm sure he played amazing. I didn't get to watch, but like Sunday of Rome, and he's playing against John Rahm, who like, what a battle that is. Which leads me to say, I feel so robbed of Rahm against Scotty on the PGA Tour.
Oh no.
It's not even a thing. I'm
about
not
that all day.
Just as a golf fan, it sucks because like, God, that was fun to watch them go. When Scotty got going at the end, you're like, golly. And then Scotty at the PGA this year was just like against Rahm, it just was like, who's going to outlast the other? So I don't know. I'm not here to pick it, obviously, Scotty, but like it definitely, the tournament itself is just not meant to make you feel comfortable with your golf game. Like you just play, like, everyone has such a different way of preparing for a tournament. And in that week, everyone does everything together. And it's super unique in that. And I don't know. The European team seems to be really good on, at least in the last couple on that Friday, of just being locked. I don't know what it is, man. It makes no sense because both teams are so good. I just don't get how there's a theme to it. But it also, like, if you look over the last 10 Ryder Cups or whatever, the split is not nearly like that heavily one-sided. It's just we want to win, so it's like you nitpick.
Well, I think that there's also something to the idea that, like you said, I think Keegan, it seems like they're doing a lot of the sign stealing and like, let's implement that and let's implement this and let's try to do things differently. Europe's also been doing that for 20 years now, right? And so I think each generation kind of builds on the last, and guys are now doing it for the 5th time instead of the first time. So part of it for me is like, it's probably not all or nothing, right? Like, it seems like it is moving in the right direction, but at the same time, it's just going to take a while. So I think they're also just like way
one
behind.
round. I mean, one day.
Totally.
Like we could flip this thing tomorrow, and then we're like, it's easy to armchair quarterback for one day of golf. I think people have put a lot of pressure on this one. I think again, a lot of it just because what Rory said last year, and he's right. Winning away Ryder Cup's so hard. So I have all the faith that they're going to do it. So it's easy to sit here and just be like, well, why didn't Scotty play better? And why, Scotty does this all the best golfers ever do this a lot. They'll shoot 2 under the first day and be in 30th. And you're like, what's going on? And then, 6 under, then like 8 under, and then 3 under. And like, oh yeah, he won by 4. So it's like, it's super easy in one day, to just nitpick at it. But like, yeah, I don't know. There's something, obviously the Europeans are on a heater just in the whole thing lately. I mean, Rahm's been on fire in these things. Tommy's playing unbelievable. Rory obviously played great. It is a unique golf course in that I feel like it does favor a certain type of person, and I feel like we're all like super evenly matched, which is kind of fun. But Rome was different. It was like seemed very tailored to any style of golf, and it was just like who's going to make those putts or whatever. Course was kind of wonky. It's like almost like who's going to get lucky at times. And this one is like, you stand on those tees and you're like, man, you go man to man, and it's like this is going to be good if you get the right matchups. Like, Rory Rahm type people like on that golf course is just, if there was a major there this week, you would be all about them. Obviously, same with Scotty, Xander. It's just it's a fun golf course in that for the competition. I don't know if you could really do a whole lot to sway it one way or the other. It's one of those types of golf courses, super big, and you kind of gotta just hit it hard and it's kind of like what we all make fun of with PGA Tour golf at times is just like smash it, and then they cut the rut down. And it's like, all right, now really smash it. But again, I'm sitting here not thinking that there's a whole lot to worry about. I think a lot of the recency bias makes everybody freaked out, but.
I'm freaked out.
You'll be all right. I have a very good feeling, especially if I think they'll come out cleaner tomorrow. We also have a lot, like, you got to get the nerves out that first day at times, and they have the same team from last year, and I'm not convinced that Rasmus and Nikolai don't swap in and out. So
I saw Nikolai out there.
Yeah,
Max, I've been banging that drum. I love that take.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed on the grounds at the same time. If Nikolai draws it better or something, maybe he hits a tee shot on 15. But yeah, so I think we get some of the guys. Harris is obviously a veteran of Ryder Cups, but it's been he didn't play he hasn't like gone on a run of them. Cam Young was amazing today, but I'm sure he was super nervous. Ben Griffin's first team event. You got a lot of those things.
What do you do in foursomes tomorrow? Like, what would you run out? I mean, this morning was kind of a disaster. Do you semi-panic on it and change up a lot of things? Do you send Scotty and Henley back out together? Who would be the guys you would think about sitting tomorrow morning? The pairings aren't out yet, so we can first guess.
I mean, you could kind of go with the thing. Like, I mean, Cam Young played so good, it's probably hard not to play him. But I like the pairings. I mean, Russell and Scotty are like a cheat code, dude. So I'm not like bucking off of really a whole lot there. I'd be curious just with Scotty, like or with anybody who played both sessions. If you run them obviously all back, they're going to play 5 rounds. I don't think that's the biggest deal, but I know that's on people's minds a lot. It's just a quick turnaround, not a lot of sleep. But yeah, I like the pair. I mean, everything's felt fine. They just have to. We missed so many short putts in the morning. It's like that thing flips a little bit. If they just like execute just a shade more. Like, I didn't hate that, but I'd be curious just the fatigue part. Like, I don't know how captains look at that, but you send Scotty out, you have to send him, obviously, like, if you want to come back. You have to play your guy, but it's like how, dead set are you on not playing somebody 5 times? I don't really know that one.
Solly, what's your thoughts on pairings tomorrow?
It's kind of hard to piece together, to be honest. I think it's probably Spawn, Griffin, English sitting. And then you got to figure out between Morikawa and Henley who you're playing of those two. Can Scotty and Morikawa play together? Did they practice that at all, or is that a total panic freak out move? Do you run Russ back out there with Scotty? This is a really hard call. Like, when it doesn't go your way on day one, if you stick to the plan too much and it really fires against you, then you're going to get triple guessed. And if you change it up, then you're going to say you deviated too far from the plan. So I don't have a great answer. It's honestly kind of hard to pick out exactly. I think Europe can run back the same setup tomorrow and be totally safe. And Keegan's got to press some buttons tonight, and I don't know exactly what they are.
Yeah, the Henley thing's weird. That is, God, just talk about a guy that seems like he's got the highest floor ever, and is that dud going to show up 2 days in a row? That's the thing.
You can't just sit there unless he comes up to you and goes, it just doesn't feel good in my hands. But you run the blackjack. Let's let him keep playing. If he feels, which I'm sure he does, feel good about it. But he had to be nervous too, man. Like, the morning is tough. You're like groggy, and then you come out and everyone's singing, and it's our chants suck, but everyone's yelling, I guess, and you're up, and it's like it's a roller coaster a bit, and alt shots hard, man, and if you get going, it doesn't necessarily say that you're like not playing well. It just means the rhythm got funky. So like I said, I don't think you ever panic in these things unless one of your players looks or says, hey, like, the putter doesn't feel great, or if somebody's like dead honest about it. But I like little things you could mix up, I'm sure. But I just felt like they just didn't get in a groove, and that foursomes thing is very groovy, man. Like you gotta, like the momentum is huge. You don't see that often as pros missing short putts back to back, but you stop seeing it go in. Even at the Zurich, it's funny how you can feel it. It's like you miss a few putts, your partner missed a few putts, and that feels like the hole, got even smaller than normal because you saw 5 putts miss. You only missed, 2 or 3, and it's like, but it doesn't. It's just a weird format. So you just gotta hope if you're USA, you get out tomorrow and get going a little bit early, like through 5, have a few more, red flags up there on the board, and then you just kind of run with that. But there's certain people like you could nitpick. Like I would like to see Colin play in the best ball format a little bit and let him just go, especially with how soft it is. I mean, I just feel like he's going to abuse holes. But you could say that about everybody. So I think they just go out there, and I think it's just a bit of I think Keegan will do a good job. Everyone will be loose. Like I said, the veterans on the team are going to keep everybody. I think it was just great to see, JJ's I don't think people get how good he is at golf. So it's nice to see him come out and show that, and then show himself, because I think he'll come out tomorrow with that boost of confidence. Same with Cam, same with all the rookies. So it's like you're going to come out and have that bit of a boost. Like, okay, I got through. It's almost like playing Waste Management 16 the first time. It's like, okay, I didn't die, didn't shank it. I could do this.
Sully, did you get your heart rate up out there today?
It did. There was a lot of heart pumping moments out there. And that reminds me, this episode is brought to you by Whoop, the official fitness wearable of the Ryder Cup. You can
Pay your
see
bill, Sully.
throughout the Ryder Cup, but you're not leaving yet. Throughout the Ryder Cup weekend, Whoop will be working with both Team USA and Team Europe to provide an inside look into an athlete's heart rate during one of the most stressful events in sport. We saw that. I missed it this morning, but apparently I saw it on one of JT's putts. They had the Whoop heart rate up there on the screen. If you're not familiar with Whoop, 24/7 health and fitness tracker that provides you with personalized insights around your sleep, recovery, daily activity, and now longevity, thanks to their new feature called Health Span. They also just released, their new hardware, the Whoop 5.0 and MG. It's now 7% smaller, 14 plus days of battery life, a ton of new features. Whoop can help you along your health journey, no matter where you might be. I made it 60 days with only 1 red recovery, guys. And that's because I'm making better decisions. I'm going to bed at a more timely, in a timely manner, drinking less later at night. But also a reminder, you can join the official No Laying Up team on Whoop by inputting code COMM-NLU in the community tab of the app. You can also try the all-new Whoop 5.0 for free. Go to join.whoop.com/NLU for a free 30-day trial today. Thanks to Whoop.
I want to throw it to Randy for a bit. Max, feel free to hang for this because I want to hear your opinion.
Or go, Max.
I'm just chilling. I was going to listen to this anyway, so might as well sit here.
And for those in the comments, if you're in line to hear from TC, stay in line. He will be here shortly. If you're in line,
I'll leave about at
line.
that point.
I asked Randy to put together some winners and losers from today. Randy, people were absolutely just frothing at your rating system before the week. Who's a 1, who's a half, and who's a 0. So I said, let's get micro on this. Let's just look at today. Who are the winners and losers? I think you've got a couple dialed up. The floor is yours.
Yeah. All right. You want to start losers, winners? You want to go one?
It's your show, man.
Okay.
You tell me.
Let's start with losers. I mean, I'll get this out of the way. I'm feeling like a loser, right? I was a late switch to Team USA, so I just need to acknowledge that.
I didn't even try to recruit you, Randy. I was going to let you be on the way. You're a Reds fan. I couldn't also bring you in on this one with me.
It's actually a very tough weekend on the rooting front.
Max kind of touched on what was, if I go 3-1, I have 3 of each. I had Bethpage Black as my third loser today. I thought, one, just the interest level of watching match play golf out there, I just didn't think it was that interesting, right? Like the greens aren't terribly interesting. There's not a ton of risk reward opportunities necessarily. So we don't have to spend a lot of time there. I thought the fans even, it was getting chippy late. Certainly that McIlroy Lowry match, you could start to hear some fans heckling, but I thought for as much buildup as Bethpage Black in the Ryder Cup, and it's going to be out of control, I thought it was a bit tame today. So I had Bethpage Black kind of overall as my third loser.
I think on that front, Randy, one of the tough things I was thinking about, the moments where I always go off of, when am I leaning closer to the TV and when am I like looking a little closer when the ball's in the air? And I'm like, today, the only time was kind of spin control questions, where it's like, even like number one was kind of fun when the greens get really soft and you start jamming some of these pins in the back. Sometimes that can get interesting. Just I remember like Morikawa had to throw it all the way to that back fringe and then spin it. But then at the same time, on the other side of my brain, I'm thinking about like number 11 in the 4 balls. Justin Rose drives it way in the left rough and he has like 105 and it's just like, oh, cool. I'll just hit it 105 and it's just going to stick in its pitch mark. It's not spinning. This is great. And then Ben Griffin and Bryson were both in the middle of the fairway. Theoretically should be an advantage, and neither could hold the green because they just zipped off the front. And I'm like, that sucks, actually. This kind of stinks. Like, that's way hard when it's a harder shot from the fairway than it is from the rough. I don't know if we're asking the right questions. So,
and listen, you can talk me into Bethpage as a US Open, proper test. I'm there, but I thought as a Ryder Cup venue, wasn't doing it. We'll keep moving here. My second biggest loser today, my guy Sam Burns. Listen, anytime you're picked because you're supposedly the best putter on the team and you have the worst statistical putting day, my man, you're not gonna miss my loser list. I'll tell you that right now. That was a tough performance,
especially when one more made putt somewhere that would have been a point for the.
I thought his miss on 18 was the perfect encapsulation of.
See, that's somebody like if I'm doing? Captain, I don't know how like the numbers work, but like that's somebody I'd like to send in the morning tomorrow because he is like obviously tremendous golfer and great putter, and then like C so that you don't like have him sitting on his hands waiting for it. You know what I mean? Like go C, like go if the putter gets hot, then you let him run the whole day. I would like to. That's the hard part is I think sometimes. You panic and you say, oh, Sam didn't play great or whatever. I don't know what he ended up doing, but what shooting or whatever, his strokes gained or whatever. But like, I would like to go run that back in the morning and get him back out there. I mean, and then just see what's going on instead of, having him have to sit there and watch the golf. But obviously a lot of things have to work out to make sure that happened. But like, that seems like a person you would want to help warm the putter up because he's not only he's a great putter. He's really obviously good at everything else, but like
allegedly,
you want to go get that thing hot and like not ice it, I guess, with having to sit and watch golf for however many hours tomorrow. But that's just a theory.
Yeah. My number one loser today.
Don't say me.
No, I kind of want to tie this into just the whole U.S. operation. But I had a real problem with the U.S. uniforms today, and I thought those were fine. Really?
I mean, they were fun. Yeah, they were half if you're going with your grading scale.
Well, let me tell you why I didn't like them. I thought the gray hats. I can't get over the USA script is awful. The gray hats. No one's wearing that gray hat anywhere outside of on the course today.
The 5-panel hats are bad too.
Yeah, you're just not wearing that.
Yeah.
And then my big issue was the golf polos having the zipper instead of the buttons. I'm sorry. I'm maybe that's a thing. It's not and will never be a thing for me. I absolutely hate that look.
Here.
That's because you need a ridiculously long zipper.
Well, that could be. But let me just tie this into the wider operation. I think we were all robbed in hindsight. Like, how much better would today and tomorrow and this weekend be if Keegan were playing? And, don't change a single result right now. We spent so much time Willie won't he. Like, Solly, I know we were striving for like something's going to feel new and different with the strategy and Keegan's young and man, everything just feels exactly the same as it always feels on the US side. So I feel very bummed that he was not out there playing because at least that's something different.
Yeah. I'm not willing to declare this yet, but wouldn't it be funny if for all of the he simply can't play because he's got to focus on captaining. What if he's a worse captain, or if he's worse for the team as a captain than he would be as a player. Like that's wild. Again, I don't think we're there yet. But
this is why I flagged this like
interesting
8 months ago of like, dude, just focus on being the captain and don't make this a story and don't be distracted by anything else, and like get to know your players really, really, really well and start thinking about your pairings and get ahead of all this stuff. And you come out and lay this egg in round one. It's really hard not to be like, all right, dude, like it's hard not to wear that. I'm sorry. It is really hard.
Randy, can we put a break?
Friday. Coaches
you had the home field advantage. You punted it back on day one. Like
coaches get paid their biggest bucks, and especially if you look at basketball or baseball on the adjustment. So like, let's like at least give them till tomorrow. Like the adjustments are what's fun about coaching.
And if they come back and win, sure. I mean, we won't remember this as an all-time bag fumble, but as we're sitting here right now, it looks like an all-time bag fumble.
What are
like, to lose on home soil it's gonna be it's unrecoverable.
Are they the first home team to lose foursomes since in like 9 Ryder Cups or something like that?
Since 04, you said, right?
Well, that was like day one lead, but I think I heard that too. The first team to lose foursomes in the last 9 Ryder Cups or something.
First year I bet on them to win foursomes as well,
which is sick.
Really
that is, you got to wear that a little bit.
Can I give 2, 1 winner, 1 loser really quick? I don't know how I'm going to phrase loser, but really fast because my phone's at 5%. Winner, Ryder Cup, simply because, man, for someone who hates Twitter as much as I do, made me really want to get back on.
Just to complain about commercials.
Anything. I just wanted to read. My barber today had the funniest thing. I was telling him about Sepp Straka. He's like, "Where's he from?" I said, "Fucking Valdosta." and he told me, he goes, "Dude, the guy from Mean Girls who's like, you don't even go here." I was like, it was like a verbal tweet. I don't know how to like frame the loser, but I called DJ about this because it hit me like a ton of bricks. When we played our Ryder Cup, it was sick. We got shoes from Michael Jordan. It's the coolest thing I ever. Say Rome on the bottom. It was awesome. And I was like, man, it'd be so cool. You always see him at the tournaments, like to have Michael Jordan around. I realized today watching on TV, thinking to myself, I would be more nervous if he was at the event watching me play golf. And I'm not his friend. You know, Keegan's his boy, JT's his boy, all these guys are his boy. But like some of the guys who aren't, like I would shit my pants. So like, I'm not saying it's a loser thing, but like that's got to fucking be kind of intimidating. Like I don't know if that's a net good thing for us. I would always want Michael Jordan there, but like I was on TV thinking that's heavy, man. Like that's most like everybody's like childhood hero.
What if you instead of Michael Jordan, who also was there, it was also just a pane of bulletproof glass and the president of the United States standing right behind you as you're doing that? I mean, I was watching that as like they're coming out of the tunnel. Ben Griffin, maybe he knows, maybe he's met the president, I don't know. But the first thing he sees when he walks in is just like, hey, I'm about to play my first Ryder Cup. There's the president. Bryson's like off yucking it up with him. Like, what is going on? That just had to be a little bit of sensory blitzkrieg there, I would imagine. But
well, we might run into an issue here right now. I got 2 maxes. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
We got a flash flood warning.
Well,
Scottsdale, Arizona, and somehow my phone turned off.
Max, we got to before we get to the winners, I think a quick break in the action. I think to bring in our guy TC because Cody, if you'll please. TC looks like he's out at Little League night, chopping up some gum, big league chew probably.
Yeah, we got the range right here. People grinding out here tonight, and then we got the Little League over there. Let's see this guy's move right here. All right, there we go.
Pretty good.
Yeah, Goosey's 2 for 2 so far tonight.
Nice situational hitting,
kind of like Fleetwood.
Top of the third. So,
Tron,
what's on your Max? I thought we were cool, man. I thought we were cool.
Not this week, dude. I can't stand your Ryder Cup thing. So annoying.
TC, how are you feeling?
DJ's on the squad. DJ, how you feeling, man? You're on the Euro squad with me.
I feel good. I put something on Instagram. I felt like Billy Zane sneaking into that last lifeboat off the Titanic. But I was like, you asked me at the preview show, what team you rooting for? I'm like, I got to sneak in with TC in the last minute. Get in this European boat.
I got the White Sox. We got Team USA. Any other teams you want to bail on just for the winning teams?
Dodgers are getting getting their bullpen back. I might take a look at them. As Eagles. I said, if you parse my words carefully, I don't know that I'm rooting like, I really love Team Europe. It's just like I would like to see them win an away Ryder Cup. That would be sick. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for history. I'm rooting for the game, really, more than anything. So
I think DJ, you're also rooting
Just
for.
wait 2 more years, you bum.
Yeah.
I also think you're rooting for.
You were doing a lot of heavy
well.
lifting with that rope team, Max. I'm being honest with you.
That was my thing today. Like, where'd the dogs go? I know JT's a little bit of a dog, but like Max, Speed,
are the
like,
dog.
those are the dogs. And I think Burns might be a dog, but you can't have Burns on the bench and think he's a dog and then not have him out there Friday morning, right?
I think we thought Benny Booms was a dog, and he didn't look good at the dog park when you actually brought him out there with the
bigger
other
dogs were scaring him a lot. Yeah,
I think JJ might be a dog. I want to see more JJ.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Let me just give a quick thing
today.
about dogs, real quick. It is very, very possible, and more likely than not, that people who are not dogs come out, don't play good on Friday, and then they tell their dog owners, "I don't want to go back to that dog park." You have to you have to measure the dog by how they respond on Saturday. Again, one of my theories why I want Sam to go out in the morning and go, bark his way around Bethpage, but like, you can't measure dog in one day. That is not fair. So like, let's just like give it a second, because there were some.
Well, it should be less than one day, because it's 7 years for every 1 year, so their time even moves faster, Mark. So I don't know.
I'm not a math guy here. I don't know. I thought JT bounced back after the morning was not good, and he played awesome to start, and then Cam Young played incredible.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see what everybody else does. JJ's super. I mean, everyone's so good. So we want to go see who comes out tomorrow with that fire and can get in their ass a little bit. The problem right now that's so annoying if you're American on that team is just like you've just now had. You have a lot of just like watching Justin Rose point at the crowd type things, like or his team, I guess. That shit is
Team Rose.
Hopefully they take that in the best way and have him stop doing that. So that would be good for us.
TC, I feel like we've talked a lot about the U.S. team. We have not talked a ton about the team that is winning the competition. What stuck out to you the most? Who are you most proud of? Who's your absolute boy today?
On the opposite end of that, I think Vic. We got to get Vic figured out, but I think Rom. Max said it earlier. I missed watching him just battle. He's
so good today.
He's a dude. Putter was awesome. I think that 3-wood he hit from like 267 or something that landed like a 9-iron. That was insane.
Well, everything landed like a 9-iron.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. No, I think Tommy played great. I knew Rosie was going to come off the bench. I think Tommy kind of carried him a little bit there.
Who are you worried about, TC?
I told you, Vic. I think Vic is.
He's the only guy.
I mean, I think Bob's a different player than he was 2 years ago. Ludwig played great. I don't know what happened this afternoon. I'll have to dig into some of the data, some of the analysis, and all of that. Maybe Keegan should dig into the data too.
They lost like 5-4, 6-5, and you're just like, yeah, I'm not sure. He played good.
No, I said he played well this morning, set the tone, went out with the rookie this afternoon, and we'll listen. We got to go watch the tape, Max. We can't just make rash judgments.
5-4. It's not a fair comparison.
Yeah. For those that missed it, those two were not great. They were easily, two of the three worst European players in the afternoon, both -2 on the strokes gained category. Ludwig looked so free this morning in that foursomes match. He looked like silky, and then kind of I don't know if he was tired or carrying Rasmus or what. I don't know what the deal was, but
I think Ludwig's been flashing for the last week and a half, basically. He made nine birdies and an eagle in one of the pre rounds last week, and pre-practice rounds. I mean, can we talk about
ones?
Well, yeah, obviously he carried it over though, at least to the first round. Can we talk about Colin and Harris going out as the 130? Can we just pose that to the data boy? Solly, what's going on with the fucking data, man? Are they not using the data?
I'm at 1%, and I'm gonna let TC have my chair. But love you guys.
All right,
thanks, Max.
Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah,
TC,
have a mediocre night, TC.
TC, you'll be proud to know we opened the show questioning that. So believe me, it's been addressed and covered.
It's insane to me, and just
hilarious.
Keegan looks defeated already. He looks worse than ZJ did at this point in the proceedings, and he just looks like he got hit by a train. And
again, people wanted him to do this and play and play. People wanted both of these things. He can't even do one of them.
Or he should have just played and just
in the best way
said, "Hey, I'm not going to be a good captain." I don't know. I'm so excited for when Tommy's a captain, for when Team Rose is a captain. We got this whole lineage cooked up. And man, I think this is the beginning of something great, not necessarily the end of something great.
As somebody who's said some regrettable things in an RV, TC, I just don't want to get too carried away. You never know what can happen over the next decade. Things can change faster than you realize.
TC, let me jump in here. This was on my winners list. This was actually my number one winners. I think we have. I identified 3 great men of Europe today. And I think I gotta give Tommy all his flowers. The guy's a fucking killer in Ryder Cup.
Thank you.
There's nothing else to say. I don't think he's ever lost a match in pairs play. Like
there should be 4 killers on this list too, Randy, by the way, for Europe. But
great men.
5. Yeah.
These are great men. So I'm anointing Tommy a great man. I got
Randy,
John
let me ask
Rahm.
you, sorry, real quick. You
Yeah.
didn't feel anything while you were watching Tommy today? Just go back to what you said the other day. I don't feel anything about this guy.
There was a little.
It had to flutter a little bit, right?
Yeah. It was fun seeing him make putts and really be
lagging
into
it on just
you got the spread collar, the flow.
The collars
I'm down
were
with
bad.
that.
You know what? I see why people like this guy.
The collars were spread because they're not well designed. They're bad collars.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that, TC.
Yeah, I didn't like the collars. Randy, I need to hear the rest of these great men.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I just want to, Tommy, you earned it today, buddy.
Thank you.
John Rahm, listen, I know we got some stats here. The guy's 8-3-3 now in Ryder Cups, but in his last 3, he went 1-2 in 2018, and since then, my guy's 7-1-3. This is a great man. Okay, this is a great man that Europe can count on in the Ryder Cup. Kudos to him.
And I know how hard that is for you to say.
Right. All of these are hard.
Great man.
Because my number one is Rory. I got to give Rory the credit. This guy fucking delivered today. All right. I'm a little sorry that putt on 18 to win that match this afternoon did not go in.
An all-timer.
That would have been a crazy celebration.
Because he didn't uncork it on 17. Like when he made the putt on 17, he was like, no, I'm going to wait to go absolutely batshit crazy on 18. And then he didn't make it on 18, especially because he needed to get it inside of Burns there.
Here's what I'll say about Rory. And I was so impressed today. Obviously we've seen the clip, him calling out, winning on the road in a Ryder Cup at the end of 2023. The guy went out there and delivered. Like, that's a fucking leader. And I was very impressed with Rory and his play. And these 3 great men, this is what Team USA is lacking. The US has no great men on its team. And I think that's a big problem, in all honesty.
I know you only played 1 match, but you're leaving out Fitz as well today.
Fitz was good today. I'm not ready to anoint him.
I think this is like a lifetime achievement award.
These guys are great men.
Yeah.
No, I think Fitz is chomping at the bit to come back out tomorrow morning. I think Fitz probably plays 2 sessions tomorrow too. Like, you've got gotten Sepp out there. You've gotten Rasmus out there. Like, let's rock. Let's play the best guys. Ludwig's only played 26, 27 holes.
Fresh, yeah.
So far, I mean, you could play him all 5 sessions and not even worry about it.
Do you think
no hidden innings for him, Randy?
For Europe, like all day tomorrow? Do you think anyone sits for Europe all day?
Rasmus, maybe.
I think it'd be Sepp or Rasmus, right?
Or Sepp. Which even Sepp was like. Sepp, like, he felt like how I played matches sometimes. It's like shoot 91, make 3 birdies at the right time.
Clutch birdies,
yeah, that was good stuff. I like seeing that.
But like, again, I go back to like, that's just not. There's 0 chance that's accident, right? Like that how do they squeeze every last drop out of these pairings every time? It's like they're just a massive credit, and that goes to the A players, the great men you're describing, Randy, like that carry 14 of these holes, and they get the 4 contributions they need from somebody like Sepp and somebody like Lowry today, who did not have their best stuff, not even close to their best stuff, but like got them the shots they needed. Like that's where you again, like numbers wise in 4-ball, US outgained Europe, and they lost the session because they did all of the things wrong. You had their two best players playing together, which is a nightmare. That's exactly
The
what you
odds
don't
and
want
evens
happening.
for Scotty and Henley was so sick.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about
That
that.
was so fucking sick. Like,
all right, for
everybody
people
I talked to said that they were just befuddled by that. It was incredible.
For people that didn't get in the nitty gritty, Solly, what was the issue?
It's not even nitty gritty. It's like it's as basic as you can get. It's like your longer hitters should go off the odd holes. Like that's just how the math would play out on both with driver demand and the irons that are going to be left on all of the other holes. Blah 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 blah. And not only like when you don't do that, you are punting. The other team's going to do it, so you've just clearly punted the distance advantage right off the bat. And like that's not the reason they lost, but it's just you can't punt every little 2% thing to the other team and expect to win. That's why our Reds are a game out right now, Randy. They keep punting these little tiny advantages that don't win out over 162. But like this, just like basic math stuff. You don't fuck around with that stuff. I get you got to make some gut decisions at times, but you don't just punt. Like I'm hearing that there is even more divide between the stats guys and Keegan.
Wow.
And a lot more. Listen, if you're going to put out the 132nd ranked pairing, I don't think that should be shocking news to the two of you guys.
Wow.
Feigning
Do the stats guys not endearing enough? Are they not
know.
persuasive enough?
Do they have the captain's phone number? Are they
dealing with a massive ego as a captain?
Making it to the captains?
A problem that they're dealing with right now.
God.
Man, oh, man.
I mean, Solly, I just think too, like you make those gut decisions on Friday afternoon or Saturday afternoon, not like Friday morning. Hey, we're gonna lead it off with this massive wild card of this guy that like probably shouldn't have been on the team, if we're being honest. Like doesn't provide any energy. Even when the guys aren't playing well, like you can tell Europe like sticks together and they go and like embrace each other and get closer. And the US guys go the opposite direction from one another.
I heard there was a lot of that from Bryson this afternoon. It was just like off on his own and like not doing anything to carry Ben Griffin along in any way, which like, again, is a big ask, but the great men, Randy's great big three, strong, great men are doing exactly that and did it in Rome. Like exactly that.
Well, I think that's the problem. You have Bryson and Scotty, as I would like look to as should be the leaders of this team. And Scotty just doesn't seem to have that personality, right? I don't think he is a Ryder Cup leader. And Bryson, like, he's not going to get guys to follow him. I think they lack that guy that they can go follow. And Europe's, they got him in spades.
That's culture, man. I don't think that happens by accident on the European side. Like that speaks to their culture, man. That's credit to them.
Speaking of a great man, a guy I would follow anyway.
Turn it up. Roddy's Ave Maria. We want a little action in here, boys. Come on. Hear Randy talking about great men when I walked in. Love that. Love that, Randy.
Of course, that's the voice of Neil Icarito Schuster, just fresh off the shuttle. Neil, what'd you see today? What do you got?
Oh, man, I got a lot. I'm tired. I'm hurt. I'm sweaty. Some guy just exploded a packet of yellow mustard all over the back of my shirt. It was a tough one out there, boys. Randy, you look like you're dressed to go bowling. Are you going bowling after this?
It's a red shirt.
We're going to go watch your Reds win after
I got
this.
Kingpin in the bottom right of my screen. No, I followed the Sixth Sense pairing. Haley Joel and Bruce Willis out there, Scotty and Spawn. They just, I mean, ghosts, man. I'm seeing ghosts. Scotty can't make a putt. I mean, Rahm, the butcher's back, festooning his bed chambers with their corpses. It's unbelievable stuff. He took down the top dogs on the U.S. one after the next morning. And then, give me Scotty in the afternoon. I got this, guys. I was so impressed with Jon Rahm. That was probably the highlight of the day. It was just like, man, I don't get to see Rahm play a lot of golf anymore. Still got it. Pretty cool to see.
He was doing it.
He was doing it. He was an absolute stud today. We haven't really talked a ton about the crowds, Neil. I know that was like, it's kind of your beat this week a little bit. What are the people saying? What's you got your ear to the ground? Ground out there?
I did. So I was following that first group, which was an interesting vibe because it felt like the crowd was on edge. You know, I roll into 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like that middle stretch. People haven't seen much. They've been drinking a lot in the afternoon. It's hot out there. I was kind of like out in front of that group. So I'm one of the first people I see, and they just start yelling stuff at me. It's like, who are you? Why are you inside the ropes? You know, just kind of like hostile. And it felt like if somebody dropped the Mentos in the cola and shut the top, like they were ready to go nuts, but nobody gave them anything to go nuts about. So it was a little bit, it got pretty rowdy on 14. And then I wouldn't say there wasn't anything outrageous said. I think a lot of like Rom was catching it for Liv, like, you're a goddamn sellout, Johnny. You know, a lot of that.
A lot of Ozempic chants at
I heard some Ozempic stuff.
Not the strongest ground to stand on as Americans.
I'm trying to think of any. His name's Sip Struck. He's got a small caca. That was another one I heard, which didn't. You know, I was like, okay, whatever.
That's classless.
It is, but the Long Island fans, they don't. The one thing they do well is they're not saying anything clever. They just say it with such conviction. And so directly, like they don't like, it's not passive. It's like, and then they add like a Johnny, you know, it's like, you're a fucking sellout, Johnny. And they like point at him, you know, it's like, oh, okay.
It's
well,
like some Karate Kid stuff.
Yeah. Really serious.
They're there to jeer more than cheer, for sure.
Definitely.
And that's not just because of the action didn't go their way. Like they were there to heckle the Europeans.
Yeah. Got a good Eruzione journey. A lot of jerseys out there. A lot of guys sound like Mike Eruzione. I play for USA. The first tee was, I don't know, a little underwhelming. I would say massively underwhelming. It just got really, they messed up. They had this woman, Heather. She was like, I'm here to get you pumped up. She lasted like 15 seconds. She got booed out of there.
And guys, Susie Whaley cannot be the first tee announcer. Tell everybody to quiet down.
You know, no offense to Heather, but she just wasn't ready for the job. She was like, what do you say, USA? Boo. I was like, and then it just was like dead silent. It was like, okay, cool, man. The DJ clearly didn't play golf. He didn't know what he was up to. I don't think the U.S. team just didn't give them anything to cheer for. A lot more Olays going on. You know, it's a bummer with U.S. culture that we don't have a Rolodex of cheers outside of, you know, USA and, you know, Scotty Scheffler. It's just like that's it, man. Wells drive the bag of tricks is done.
USA.
That's it. That's all we got.
And that only came out whenever there was an Olay chant. Like just there was no like origination of it. That was only coming out when they had something they needed to drown out. Guys,
I'm gonna drop, but I do want to hear an answer to if things don't go well tomorrow morning and then they get off to the wrong foot on Saturday afternoon. Will this crowd turn on the U.S. team?
Yes.
And what will that look like?
So, you're talking about the crowd on the ground. You're not talking about this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they would, TC.
Can you imagine booing little Colin?
Oh, like I don't have to imagine it, Randy.
TC's got on his VR headset at home.
Colin was not as bad as you guys were making him out to be today, by the way.
He's stunk.
What are you gonna do?
Nah, he was not good.
And that's the problem.
Good.
He's your boy, Randy.
TC,
I know.
before you get out of here, as you know, you're the assistant captain here of Team Europe. Who would be your two guys that you would send out first thing tomorrow?
Honestly, I would just send Ramen Hatton back out first again.
They're not going to be
probably
first,
too.
But they are going back out there.
Oh, we got
pairings.
pairings?
We
got pairings?
I have the pairings.
Oh.
TC, I don't know if you want to stick around.
Oh,
or
I
if
would
you
love
want
to stick around. Yeah, I'm sticking around.
So,
I got Freddie here too.
Hey, Freddie.
Hey, Freddie.
Match number 1. Ludwig and Fitz going out
Love
against
that.
Bryson and Cam Young. Very excited about that.
Okay, I like that.
Why did Cam not sit? Why did Cam not play this morning?
We don't know. The answer is
that one befuddled
to
me
play.
as well.
Yeah. I think Randy, I know you like Whiplash the movie. I think Fitz is getting absolutely whiplashed right now. I think it's just like, nope, sorry, man. I know you're the best player this morning. Not quite good enough. Not quite my tempo. You're gonna be sitting this morning. I think he's gonna be frothing more, ready to go again tomorrow morning. I love that first pairing for. I like that match is great. Morning. That's gonna be good stuff.
Match number 2, guys. Talked a lot about them. Rory and Tommy Ladd going out.
They're going to be taken on, let me guess,
Scotty.
I think Scotty and Henley again.
No.
Scotty
the
and
worst
HE?
possible decision. HE and Morikawa.
We're running it back. We're running it back.
Your
Which maybe we
boys,
need-
Randy.
Maybe
Your
we need to
boys.
call Max back
God.
in.
Wow.
A
That is
victory.
all time.
Victory. What do you say to those guys, Sully?
To me, that comes off a little brash, a little cocky.
Oh.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it can't get worse, I guess, is kind of maybe the coolest thought.
This is your problem you had, though, if you're not going to use Cam Young to be your A player off of odds, which I would have thought would have been a tool you wanted to use from the jump, but you're going to have to put somebody that's not a bomber to tee off one of your teams. But whatever. What the fuck? Who cares?
God,
It
we're
wasn't
getting
just
into
one with
nihilistic
Henley. It was
Solly already.
such a noticeable disadvantage when Henley teed off on 9. It was like, what are we doing with that this morning?
It's so sick.
Match number 3.
Let me hold on. Let me hold. So, if I may, Solly, knowing that Cam and Bryson are off first, what would you have done to combat the Tommy Rory pairing tomorrow morning?
I mean, you don't know this when you go, set the order, but I would want Scotty going up against that one with. I don't. I would say Henley, but I wouldn't want to do the same order of holes. So I
Why
would
not
want
Scotty
to
and
play with the
Burns?
long.
Just to
Probably.
throw, you know.
I don't know. I think you keep throwing Cantlay at Rory any way you can. Cantlay,
that's
Xander
what
off
I was
second.
thinking,
Like those
Cantlay
two
and
are
Xander,
solid,
maybe.
man. They played good this morning.
I think
and
Cantlay
is
is on
not
borrowed
scared.
time, man.
He is a dog.
I know he's not scared, but I think he's on borrowed time. Like that
I
shot
don't-
he hit
Eh.
on 18. I think that swing's not looking good.
They probably can't put him out second because he's so slow. It got really, really slow this morning.
They were 2.5 holes behind.
I know it was noticeable as being on the
And,
ground.
and
That's
Bob's
a,
not quick either.
That
Bob's
might
very
be
slow.
that might be where the Bethpage is coming out. Oh no, hold on. These guys, I see these guys at this tee time. You guys get out before them.
Yeah, no, we got to get you
those
out. No,
guys are slow as
yeah,
fuck. You need to get going.
they're the like older guys in the players club.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you
they're
guys should
good
go
guys,
now.
but they're slow. You guys.
They
go
should
for it.
send the assistant captains out in a biker gang.
All
Fun.
four of you guys here. All four of you guys here. Yeah.
Can we
let's
get
go.
Keegan versus Norin? Like we should get that in singles.
Well, we might need to if it ends.
Yeah.
You know.
Be a celebrity
First thing
match to
Sunday
keep the
morning.
fans entertained on
All right,
Sunday.
3.
All right,
three.
So,
Go
so
ahead.
we know we've got Xander and Cantlay.
Yeah.
Xander and
We know
Cantlay,
we've got
match
Scotty
3.
going somewhere.
Okay, they put him out
Xander-
third.
So they're match 3. Okay. Against TC, who are you putting up next
This-
for Europe?
This
I
feels
think-
like
Ramen
I think
Hatton?
I think Bob probably goes out or Ramen Hatton.
Ramen Hatton.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun one.
this is a wall that Team Euro is building tomorrow.
For real.
They're trying to
Good
end it
match
early.
there.
These are firewalls against US momentum.
And that leaves us with match 4. It will be Scotty Scheffler and Russ Henley going against Big Bob and Vic.
Man,
Solly, if
Okay.
Scotty
And Henley was the
plays
first.
if Scotty plays the
if he tees off
the
first.
evens again,
He's going
What-
to.
what
They have
are
a
you gonna
plan.
do?
TC.
well,
What
it
I'm
seemed
doing
like
right
the
now,
plan-
drink. I'm drinking.
It seemed like the plan was all about the first hole. And then they didn't think about anything beyond the first hole.
But
Not
the
like we
plan
want
is
the momentum on the
flawed
first hole.
on the first hole because Henley shouldn't tee off on that hole.
Correct.
No, I know. That's what well, he shouldn't tee off on like it's the most insane plan. They've had 18 months to think about this and figure out who Scheffler's going to play with and all of that. And just abject failure on the US side. It's incredible.
The quote, he was asked specifically, this is from Brody Miller on Twitter, asked specifically about the Morikawa English pairing and the analytics suggesting it was a poor pairing. Bradley said, quote, "We have a plan." And then he said, "No, and Europe just beat them today and they'll try to beat them tomorrow."
Well, I saw a post from Shane Ryan before I hopped on. He said you should pair Scotty with Bryson. He's the only guy that Scotty's won Ryder Cup matches with. Just take it back to Whistling Straits.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, honestly, they're not going back to JT in the morning. I would have been surprised if he'd have gone 5 sessions, but JT played really good golf in the afternoon. Maybe you're just saying, all right, you're a 4-ball player for us here, but you didn't have 8. You're behind by 3, and you didn't have. You don't have too many. This is not your 8 best players tomorrow morning. Like you're
No
you're
Burns
hoping to,
either. That was the guy that Max was calling for the
Yep.
ball. Like,
No Burns. I would like to see Spawn in the hell. I would have sent Spawn and Griffin out instead of English
Yeah.
and Morikawa. Just
give me
you
two
know,
guys that won it. right?
Yeah,
No, but
just
JJ
show
didn't-
me
he didn't
a
really
little
play
hard.
good. He didn't play good, man. I watched him
well.
all day. It was boring. Like it just wasn't any good.
Neil,
and they couldn't
Neil,
make a putt.
can anybody see anything out there?
No, I've decided my take on if you're attending a Ryder Cup, you need to treat it like a picnic in the park. You need to go post up, find a tree where you can get some shade, and there's a big screen across. There's a great spot left of 7 green is a good spot for this, where you're basically going to watch TV all day. You can eat a bunch of Italian sausages for free, get your money's worth on the Italian sausages. A lot of Rice Krispie treats, some pretzels, anything non-alcoholic, and you just hang out in the trees, and then you can watch all 4 groups.
And
come through.
occasionally a player comes through. Which
Yeah,
is,
and
which is
occasionally,
awesome.
and then
Lucky.
if you're lucky, you'll see a couple golf shots.
Yeah.
But it's a picnic. I think the best place to watch golf, TC. I was right last night. Number 8 is great. You can get up on these hills.
Yeah.
There's no corporate hospitality. You can watch the entire hole unfold, and then you can watch them tee off on 9. That's where you're going to maximize golf shots.
TC, I have a different answer for you about if they send Henley off the first tee. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get as close as I can to that pairing. I'm going to say, visit www.stacksystem.com/NLU and use code NOLAYINGUP, and you can get 10% off your stack bundle to increase your swing speed. It is a fantastic training tool that I hope Russell Henley puts into play before tomorrow, because we need driving distance if you're going to be going off the odd holes. It is a automated system that it's an incredible app. It tells you exactly when you should be working out, how hard to swing the weights, what weights you should be swinging, how hard to rest in between sets, how hard to rest or how long to rest between reps. There's also a stack putting tool that'll help you figure out, hey, am I a better putter cross-handed? Am I a better putter with the claw? Am I a better putter with the mallet putter, with the blade putter? All kinds of things. Stack
All the
wedges can help
above
you
for
get dialed in on your wedges around the greens, all that stuff. It's a great tool to make you better at golf. If you don't have a ton of time to dedicate to the game of golf and you want to work out in your backyard to do something to flex your golf muscles, the stacksystem.com/NLU, code NOLAYINGUP, gets you 10% off the stack. We appreciate their support of this program.
TC, you gonna drop TC?
I'm gonna drop.
All right, we'll talk to you
Bye,
tomorrow.
TC. Bye, Freddie.
Bye, TC.
Thank you, Mr.
Bye,
TC.
See
Freddie.
you guys. Great work, guys, as always.
And also with you,
Yeah, thank you, TC. Thanks for all you
Randall.
do.
No, I was just looking, curious the group's thoughts. You know, we with Rory, Tommy, John, Rahm, and Ludwig going out tomorrow morning. How many of those guys sit tomorrow afternoon? Or are we going to have a lot of Euros going all 5 sessions? I
I
feel
think
like
they're going all 5.
a
I
bit
think they're going.
interesting.
I kind of feel like it's probably one of those. I'm trying to remember Rome. I was going to look up Saturday afternoon, but I mean, if they do have that firewall built and they build up a 5-point lead, 6-point lead or something, like I think then you can sit. So I think it's almost like, didn't Rahm sit Saturday afternoon at Rome because they had such a big lead and he kind of had like
He did sit.
built
Yeah.
it the cushion for it. But I think they're all committed to probably going all 5. It's like it's almost like the there if you need it, but hopefully you don't sort of situation.
They only had
Just
2
don't know if they
guys
have the
go all
strength this
5
year.
in Rome.
Yeah,
Rory and Vic.
That felt like a stronger team, though, like in that kind of middle pack. I think Ludwig and Hovland are bigger question marks.
Stronger form, I would have you change your words because it's
It's
literally
the same
team.
players. Yes. I think that, I would be nervous to do that if I was them, because if you're kind of sending out the middle of the pack and the bottom 4 again in the afternoon, like they had their top 4 going this afternoon, and the U.S. was in better, like should have won the back. Like they were favored in those matches. Like that fell out really well for the U.S. and should have been wins for the U.S. If you sit 1 or 2 of those guys and bring those bottom 4 back in, you are leaving the door open for a 3.5 point session. Pretty like that just would let them right back in the match. So I think they're prepared to gas pedal and send these guys for a lot of holes.
One thing I would say, this is purely eye test from what I saw. Like Scotty didn't hit the ball all that bad. It was a lot. He missed putts on 2, 3. Like he's not playing well. Rahm made all of those putts. I mean, just dagger. The putt he made on 3 was unreal. Like 25-footer. He just did it throughout the round. I wonder if that flips. Like, do the numbers flip?
It could.
Do they start making putts? Because that it wasn't like, oh man, they're just like all over the map off the tee. It just felt like they're just not making putts. Scotty let so many opportunities slip away. So that would be if I was gonna stop myself from overreacting, that would be it.
Scotty could have been putting to those COVID raised cups though, and would not have made any more birdies. Like he wasn't touching the hole.
That's fair.
Those were
It wasn't
not
like they
even
were lipping. They weren't
close.
lipping out. It feels like they are overreading most of the putts.
Per day to golf, 8 of the top 11 putting performances were European today.
Love seeing you getting the stats.
The
Randy.
stats don't matter, Randy. I was just yelled at on the everything app.
Wow. Yeah, the U.S. horrible putting.
He's got his Reds button down on. He's gonna put on his accounting like green visor, complete the look, get the data going. I love it.
Well, Solly, Neil, I know you guys didn't watch a lot of the broadcast. Max led with this, so I feel like we need to circle back here. Randy, any thoughts on the television product today?
Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest. I was not up at 5 a.m. local time for the first tee.
Hey,
so
Randy, neither was I, brother.
Yeah, you were up at 4:59
I
when
was
I
up
called
at
you.
4:59. That's true. I'm barely up at 4:59.
I breezed. I caught up and went through a bunch of commercials in the morning. So let me just say, I will clear out. I know there were issues this morning if you were watching live. I actually thought late afternoon. I didn't mind it. I wasn't overwhelmed by the hashtag load. So I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought they had a tough morning. Some of the audio stuff was really tough, and that's kind of the whole point of watching the Ryder Cup is hearing people yell. And I get it; it's very, very, very hard. I know they've got some changes going on in the booth. It's not a shot at anybody, just calling it as it was. A lot of mistimed audio, a lot of just like totally silent balls landing close to the hole. A lot of that stuff that's just like, oh man, I would love to get excited about that. I feel like I'm missing one of my senses here. And then I wanted to ask about the partisan booth. That was something there, we'll start here. Compliment sandwich. They're trying something new. I like that. That's great.
What was this?
The whole
Oh, got
point
it.
was they were like, we're taking the restrictor plate off these guys. We're having basically a US fan and a British fan or a European fan in the booth. And so it started out with Noda was the U.S. fan, noted Ryder Cup hero, Noda Begay.
Another great man on Randy's list.
Again, not his fault. Not his fault. I don't even mind Noda all that much. This guy put in a tough spot there against Faldo, who's played, 45 Ryder Cups. And for as much as people wanted to shit on Faldo, who was bad at times, I found it a little comforting to just hear him back in there. I don't know why. I just have heard so much of him in the booth and was like, that was a kind of nonsensical thing he was saying. But at least he was like, when I played in the Ryder Cup, this happened. And I was like, oh, that's useful. I would love to hear more about that. So that was tough, or that was good. The thing that was tough was, it was almost like they had a producer in their ear constantly reminding them like, no, be partisan.
Cheer.
Be partisan. Come on. And it was just like, oh, here's JT. We really need this one. Come on, JT. And it was just so forced and really tough. And then it was McGinley and Faxon in the afternoon, which I thought was a little better, but it was
which is so funny because Hunter Mayhan's on the world feed,
dude. That's
and he's
what I was
so
say.
natural at it.
I know.
It's so like it's not in your face, but he just like you tell he's like under his breath, like, "Come on, we need this one," and it comes off so natural. And they probably did. Yeah, I didn't get to watch it, but it sounds like they failed in their endeavor.
Well, it was the ultimate, just like again, nobody's fault. This is just how it works out. But this is like, who would have been good at that? Kisner. And unfortunately, it's the 1 week he's not there.
Also Ryder Cup stalwart.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
well, also I did see I saw Zinger out there walking.
Also would have been good
on 17. I was like, Zinger, we gotta get these guys fired. I know, man, it's not going well, man. I know. He was hurt. Zing was hurt. He couldn't even spit. I could tell he had dry mouth. He had chapped lips.
Guys, I ran a poll on the Everything app of just, hey, check it in. What do you guys think of the TV coverage, good or bad? It may have been skewed a little bit, not in the way you're thinking, because I didn't clarify that I meant NBC, right, and there were Sky Sports people voting for good. Sure. And good did get 7.9% of the votes, while bad got 92.1%. I honestly, you could put up like a picture and be like, hey, is this of a blue square? Be like, is this blue? People would be like, and more than 7% would say no to that question. Like the one thing that is unifying this country is that we can all agree that NBC is terrible at covering golf. And it like honestly bummed me out because I was watching the world feed in the media center. I was gripped. I could not get up to go to the bathroom. They were cutting from match to match, hole to hole. I was so invested in those matches. And I was just like reading my, when Betty Booms made the putt and everybody, I was like, guy, I got 30 replies right away. Why is this? It's like, oh, it happened on playing through. I'm like, dude, they're literally going to like just ruin golf for a generation of golf fans. Like it's that miserable. It was making headlines all over the sports world today of how bad the coverage was. And I wasn't even watching it. And it just infuriates me, man, because it's like the one event that is special and should elevate golf, and they just abuse it. And I think the PGA of America is not blameless here either. Like, I think this is a package deal.
For sure.
How about the PGA of America trotting Derek Sprague out there just like first thing on your first cup of coffee in the morning?
Sure.
It's just like, yeah, man, this is what we're looking for. This is why I got up early.
Derek Sprague and Heather just holding court.
Well,
That's tough. I feel bad for Heather. I got to hear.
I know.
More of that
I don't know
story.
who
She's
Heather
put in a
was.
tough spot.
It was just not the right tool for the.
I mean, part of I'll tell you what the perverted thing is, and part of why you won't see me getting up at 5 a.m. is because when the real golf sickos are watching, right? Like at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m., right? They front load the commercials. And so they actively kick like your hardest core audience in the nuts over and over. It doesn't matter what the event is. Like the early coverage is going to be the worst coverage. And I think that's totally backwards.
They do lead in with some SVU for those sickos.
And they go out with it too. When I was pulling up on my phone, it's like SVU Special Victims Unit as the U.S. was down 5.5.
SVU just full stop. Big
SVU was a lot. Talk about something I wasn't expecting before my first cup of coffee. It was just the tail end of one of those episodes. It was just, whoa, what'd you guys get into over the last hour? Got him. All right. I'm glad they caught him. Fuck. Can't have that guy running around.
Can I say something that I kind of come around on? I'm in on the flyovers are fucking awesome, dude. I mean, when those jets go over, man, hair on my arms up. Just shout out to the fighter jets and pilots up there. It's awesome. I get hyped, and they timed it up. The TOT, time on target. I know Cody loves that shit. Right on time as the guys finishing the national anthem in the afternoon. It was good stuff. So I just want to put that out there. I don't care if the Euros think it's jingoistic.
First of all, I agree with you, and I stand by the flyovers. But I always think about the Simpsons line. Sideshow Bob's talking about country fried rubes singing "Rock You Like a Hurricane" at an air show. That's what it
Dude, you'd like this one when Rom buried that putt. Then Scotty had a chance to answer and did not, and it was break on through by the Doors was blaring, and it's third green, so you could kind of hear it. It's like, try to run, and it's like Scotty just misses this, but doesn't have a chance. I was like, break on through. I don't know, it was a moment for me. It was very funny.
It was right after the golf ended. Wouldn't they start blasting Bruce right out of the 18th green?
Yes.
Like, man,
the
soundtrack is down by 3. This is just
been a very, very safe soundtrack. All
dystopian stuff. All right, what else we got to get to here? I feel like we're all over the place, but we've also kind of gotten to a lot of it here. So, Solly, how are you feeling about tomorrow? Like rolling out those pairings again? Should we?
I'd honestly be curious. I don't know if we have a live look in at the odds. If setting the same pairings out move the odds at all. If we are going to look into the odds this time, all odds are courtesy of the FanDuel Sportsbook. Go ahead.
Yeah, Europe is minus 190, US is plus 230 at the moment. And
I'm gonna have a lot to.
Who was riding for the ties on the happy hour? I heard somebody riding for the ties.
I was. That
has moved to plus 950. Neil, if you have a horse in that race,
I just think rooting for a tie is psychotic and also like a hint of sick.
Of course, the FanDuel Sportsbook, official sportsbook of No Laying Up, they have plenty of Ryder Cup action to choose from. They got head-to-head matchups, they got player points, day winners, who to lift the cup, all that stuff. FanDuel.com or the FanDuel app. It's fantastic. It's been great to be in a state that I can use my FanDuel app. They got all the odds for tomorrow morning as well, so let's go through those. Bryson and Cam Young are plus 100 with Fitzpatrick and Oberg plus 135. These have ties in all of them. The ties are around plus 600, plus 650, whatever that may be. Oh my God. McIlroy and Fleetwood are minus 200. English and Morikawa are plus 270.
That's, I think, the biggest you're ever going to see in a 18 hole.
FanDuel must not have heard the Keegan's presser where he said they had a plan. So I don't know if that moved the odds at all when
what is it?
those
Don't
comments came
die?
out.
The plan could be to punt.
It's
To
Sid. He's
punt.
got a 5-year
Yeah,
plan.
true.
Play field position.
Rahm and Hatton are -110. Schauffele and Cantlay are +155. Scheffler and Henley are -130. McIntyre and Hovland are +180. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's really not good. Day 2 winner, US is -110, Europe +170. So the odds makers are expecting a little bit of a comeback from the US. Day 2 foursomes, US is still favored, +120 against Europe, +185.
Man, I was kind of I think I was with them expecting a little bit of a comeback too until the pairings were rolled out, and I just don't really love any of those. I don't know.
So uninspiring.
I like
Bryson
Bryson and Cam.
Young, yeah,
Yeah,
and Xander
and I
and
like
Cantlay.
and Xander and Cantlay. Those
yeah.
are solid pairings.
I was with them until.
And again, Scheffler and Henley is like. I don't think we're going to see Henley that.
Well,
that way
then I got to raise my hand and hit a mea culpa because that was my boat race of the week yesterday. I felt fucking stupid.
We did not sign up for the odds.
The Beluga special is back. Oh man, Scotty and Russ, they're never gonna lose.
We didn't get to see the real pairing though. Like they flipped the holes. Like,
yeah, that's true. I would not have paired them that way. So that's my out.
That's right. You shouldn't have to pay out on those deals.
Yeah, that's a different pairing. That's truly that's a
an
different
act of
golfer.
God.
It's 100% a different golfer if you flip the holes on that. I just laughed at your comment, Deej. Like I was feeling a U.S. comeback until I read the list of people that are on the U.S. team that are playing, and then that hurt my chances.
Well, I think that's what initially was fueling my Europe pick to start the week. Was like, it is weird. It's you see each one of these individual people, and you're just like, yeah, okay, that guy makes sense for the team. Yeah, of course, that guy makes sense. And then you do start putting together some of these pairings. You're like, man, what the hell am I supposed to do with all these Legos? These don't even fit together.
But what's the? You can say Keegan if you want, but what's the fix? What was the change though to be like, oh, they should have taken this guy over this guy, and US would be in a better spot right now? I personally don't think there's a lot of that going on right now because Scotty and Bryson went 0-2 both today.
No,
right? That's where
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, that was kind of the other. No. That was I know you're
big Spieth. Yeah,
you're other than Spieth. Yeah, that's right. And Novak. That was your block coming into the week, right? Is like. I mean, Europe, they just do it over and over. Rory and Rahm and, Tommy and the dogs are going to play well. And it's like, if you don't get that with the U.S. side, it's not going to go.
Yeah, well. Some of it is you just got to play. You got to make some putts, man.
Bryson's
that's
credit,
what I'm seeing. I saw good shots from the U.S. team. I did not see many putts fall today.
I do think Bryson played fairly well. I know he missed a couple coming down the stretch, but down on 17, made a great birdie there. But
he's bad today.
He had bad partners. He was kind of playing with one hand tied behind his back. Let me ask, you followed a lot of him this morning with JT?
Yep.
Is the golf ball a thing at all?
No,
because
I was asking
JT
some people
looked like a different person as well. But I get to
I was asking some people close to the situation. It was almost a complete non-factor in terms of, again, if you can put whatever ball you want in play. So you're going to put the ball in play of the guy that's going to be hitting the approach shot. And apparently the spin profiles on the golf balls aren't that different. At least that's what the person close to the situation told me about it. So yeah, I'd be hard pressed to blame. I think it's an easy cop out to blame JT's poor play this morning on golf ball change when in reality he lost 2.36 shots on the greens. That was almost the entirety of his, he didn't drive it great and didn't hit great approach shots, but I can't be like, oh, JT's playing the wrong ball, Bryson's playing the wrong ball, and that cost them in any real way. Just JT stunk, man. He was really bad this morning. He missed a great opportunity on 2. Hit it. I ended up writing it down at one point how many spots he missed him. He had a very mid chip on 1. Bryson bailed him out with a made putt. Missed birdie on 2. Missed a good birdie on 6. Gagged 7 away. Missed a short putt and hooked one from the fairway. Missed a green on 9 from the middle of the fairway. He was really bad. Redeemed himself in the afternoon, but I'm really surprised at how big of an egg he laid this morning.
Solly just pulled up the stats. I didn't realize how good Fitzpatrick played.
Yeah,
he was he was very
well
very
that's
good.
I mean, DG maybe relate to this. There's a big feeling of I don't know, stress and FOMO when you're out there with the wrong group. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
and so it's I didn't see any of Fitzpatrick play today really, and it's oh, so he gained
Did
4.2 strokes on the field today.
Did they have radio? They don't have like radio.
They do.
They do. I
Oh,
just
they
didn't
do,
have one
okay.
on.
Yeah, that's what you got to grab that.
I was scrambling this morning, Randy. Forgot sunglasses.
That's right.
Dude.
Sorry.
Speaking of watching all the
Phone
shots, one more guy that wanted to come back in, and another thing.
Oh God.
Tron and another thing. Carter, I believe, wanted to pop back in here.
Guys, you're treating NBC USA characters welcome with kid gloves. They were
What?
They were.
I just said they're
fucking-
ruining golf for an entire generation.
Yeah, I thought Solly went pretty hard
No,
on it.
I don't think that's strong enough, Solly. They were awful this morning until the changeover. The Sands Noda Faldo thing. Like, I forgot Faldo is somehow worse than ever, and it felt like a bad dream for about 3 or 4 hours this morning.
TC, hold on. The lighting in your office right now, it's just like story time with TC. Like, gather around, gang.
I don't have any of my
It's like a
lights
ghost.
on.
He's telling a ghost
bedtime
story.
story right here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a ghost story, right? And Faldo's the ghost. He's scaring everybody. It was awful. And then they tried to do the whoop thing, and Sanzi's like, "Oh, look at JT's heart rate. It's 120." And Noda goes, "Actually, that's not high at all. That's in zone 2.
one.
That's not even in zone 3." Like, it was incredible. There was just no chemistry, no. I mean, the sound was awful. You got on that, Deej. But just generally speaking, even beyond the commercials, there's just no tact or taste. They're fucking rudderless. It's awful. And then it did get better as it got into Fax and McGinley and Hicks and those guys coming on. I'm not a huge Hicks guy, but it improved this afternoon. So I'll give them that. But man, I just wanted to come in over the top rope and make sure we made that clear, because I think Faldo legitimately thinks that he's like auditioning for the NBC role of like, oh, like Kisner's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Maybe NBC needs a lead
They
analyst
also,
here.
though, they might.
Yeah,
like,
but
I
also
could
like
do.
don't hire Faldo. He's awful.
He's got says on his resume here. He's got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of references.
You don't get fired bringing in IBM.
Exactly.
TC.
Guy called the Masters, man. Also, I'm just pulling up his playing record. You see how the guy won 6 majors. You believe that shit? How many did you win, Noda?
So, anyway, I just wanted to
Thank you,
offer
Mr.
that
TC.
up.
Thank you,
Follow
TC.
TC.
Thank you.
Neil, I want to know who
You're a
your
great man.
who your top sightings were out there. The top people you ran into, people you saw, people you're surprised to.
I mean, honestly,
Name drop.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
It's just that guy
Did
is
you talk to
magnetic.
Michael Jordan?
I did not talk to him, but I was
Okay.
within the like kind of uncomfy zone with MJ. You know, within
I talked to Michael a little bit.
the 10-foot circle. Did you?
I did, like a couple sentences.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't. I was, but when he's around, you just know. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's MJ. I don't think there's a lot of people that are in that pantheon a little bit, but
was
you
all
just
very
feel it.
corny.
Everyone's like, oh shit, there he is. He was wearing a stupid hat, of course.
He like got down
and
on
a
one
bad
knee
shirt.
and got up. He's like, oh, a lot hard, easy going down, a lot harder getting up these days. And I was like, yeah, I feel you there, man. That was the extent of our conversation.
I saw Zinger. I
Great
said
dude.
that.
Great dude.
A Zinger. No, I think there was a footballer that I'd been walking with like all day, didn't realize it, and then he started getting hounded for selfies. I was like, oh, this guy must be somebody. I don't know who that was.
We don't have a name. There was.
don't have a
We're
name.
getting reports on the ground. There was a footballer on site.
There was a footballer guy. It seemed like he played some footy. That's what I was picking up.
Unconfirmed report. There was a footballer spotted on site.
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't get a lot of celebs.
I had a massive one for me. Sean McKeel was out there, I think, doing radio of
hell
some
yeah.
kind. That was just very much like nobody knows that guy won a
Yeah.
major. Nobody,
sure.
nobody is paying attention. That guy won a major.
Saw Stu Sink. I would,
Oh.
would say I did see my guy. Unfinished business.
I saw Zach Brown, not the band, but the from McLaren.
McLaren guy?
Zach Brown. Zach Brown was out there. Tony Kukoc as
Sure.
well.
Celebrity.
Played in the celebrity.
Celebrity.
Absolute
course.
unit. Did not literally see the cubes, but I'm queuing it up for the last one. Last name drop I will give.
Autry.
One more.
Super Chef Bobby
Bobby
Flay.
Super Chef
Bobby-
Bobby Flay. Literally
Yeah.
saw Super Chef Bobby
I
Flay
actually
out there.
did talk to Chef World Kitchens guy Jose Andreas. Yes, on the 4th hole.
Him and Rom.
Delightful human being.
Yeah.
Did you tell me you went to Argentina?
I didn't know he didn't get that far. He was talking to a guy I was with, and I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm a big fan."
Guys, who's should we do some score predictions at the end of the day tomorrow? And I think we get out of here.
That sounds good. It's been a long day.
Thank you for your service.
Mexican again?
Yeah, we gotta go to that Mexican joint.
9.5, 6.5 Europe.
Okay,
That's
so
4-4
they
tomorrow, right?
hold the line, maintain.
Yeah.
I'm gonna second you there. I think that is a very responsible call. 2-2, 2-2. I think tomorrow.
2-2, 2-2. I'll go 4.5, 3.5. Team USA.
So
Okay.
Whatever that makes the
9-7.
9-7.
Yeah.
Can I get one like? So I after
I'll ride with Randy.
Sorry.
You got to give me the
Sorry,
last
sorry.
word. You're fucking just trying to erase me.
Well, yeah, he's just trying to get us out of here, and I got one final
No,
thing.
I'm just. It's a hard thing to. I gotta think the U.S. makes up a little bit of ground. Like, show some spine, guys.
Will the dogs come out? Will anyone let the dogs out tomorrow?
The first tee was a major bummer this morning. They do not have the mix of music figured out. Hazeltine had it great. They would play a song, maybe like Golf Channel was down there. They had like a hype man going. They would put people on camera and everybody would go nuts, wave towels, sing songs. If they were in commercial, they'd play a song, but it'd be like, all right, we're coming back. Let's get fired up again. And people did it. And the last two have been totally dead. And I was bummed leaving the first tee and then got to the first green. And when Bryson walked in that putt, I mean, there's people like up on the road there. There's like a road behind one green. There's just so many people down by that green. And it was every hair on my body was standing straight up. I'm serious. My legs and my arms, the hair was standing straight up of just, let's go, Bryson, USA, you. And they were vibing off the jump, walking to that next tee. Everybody screaming at them as they went through the tunnel. Like, it was a welcome to the Ryder Cup moment. It put me back into like, all right, this event isn't a dud. Like, this is really fun because I was really bumming out after that first tee setting. Granted, it went downhill from there, but there was at least one moment today that was like, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, that's why Bryson's going off first. It almost worked. Like, it worked in terms of getting people excited. It just like didn't trickle down the board for the U.S.
Can I give a half-hearted, half-baked theory on that? I think everybody's brain is cooked by cell phones. I don't think anybody can sit with. Right. I don't think anybody can sit with just like.
I think you're right.
There's an hour now. Like, what do you mean? We just sit here.
That's right.
And we like.
What do we do?
Commune with each other and sing songs and volley one from that side of the bleachers to that. No, I'll just kind of sit here and just look at my phone, see what's going on, post some photos. Can't believe I'm here. I think everybody's just toast.
It was quite a surreal.
And on that note, God, can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was quite a surreal scene. U.S. down 3-0 with Air Force One flying over, like with one match out on the golf course. Like it did a flyover the course before landing.
It was the Pavarotti we needed, though. Turn it up. He's coming.
Cody, what do you got?
Nothing. Happy, good show, guys. Good guess.
Oh, thanks.
I don't know.
Cody.
Do you guys have any closing thoughts? I know the boys are hungry. They need to get some
I will, on behalf of Neil's beloved pro shop, I will say the NLU and Titleist players bags are in the shop, right?
I do have golf bags in the shop. Yes.
Wow. I also there we go. My
they're
page is
classy.
refreshed. The Players 4 golf bag now on sale. Number one item people have been asking for on our yearly census. How can it, sir? How can I get a No Laying Up golf bag? Now you can. They're in the pro shop.
Yeah, you can go to store.nolayingup.com and then you just navigate over to the bag category.
Yeah.
How about that? No
Great
adventure.
bags.
No adventure.
No, just right up there on the navigation bar, right there. Boom.
Just pay your money and
one click away.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're an awesome bag. Same bag I use. Super light, super duper light.
The official bag of DJ Pie.
Yeah.
How about that?
You could print that. That you can print. Guys, this was great. I'm so glad you guys had a fun day out there. Long day. I know. Go enjoy that Mexican food. Randy, winners and losers were electric. I love hearing it. Might need to get you to send in some just from afar tomorrow. If you survive this Reds game tonight.
I'll say final prediction for tonight's game.
I think the Reds get it. We'll say 5-2.
Brewers are scuffling a little bit.
I see the Mets
this is a clincher.
No, we need to say it live. It doesn't matter to the Brewers. That's why I'm getting ready to bet on the Brewers right now.
Well, big fantasy matchup in the finals here. The Schwanzes.
Brewers are minus
Skeens.
Brewers are minus 205 tonight.
And they don't even have any good players. It's crazy. They just win every day. It's nuts. Guys, this was great. Cody, thanks for everything behind the scenes. Jordan, thanks for everything behind the scenes. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Max Homa, the pro, for calling in, as well as TC. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow, guys. We will see you then.
Crack on. Cheers.
Cheers.